Hi, I'm Jean Nolte, editor at Fons & Porter.
And I'm Colleen Tauke. I'm the sewing specialist for Fons & Porter. In this tutorial, we will talk about how to construct the quilt called Classic Elements.
To get the pattern for this quilt, go to shopfonsandporter.com/quiltingquickly. This is a really fun quilt. It's made from 2.5-inch strips.
All strips.
Pretty
yes.
easy, but you just have to do a little planning and you have to keep your wits about you when you're putting it together.
Stay organized.
So you're going to take 30 strips in blue and green prints, 30 strips in red and gray prints, and we're going to cut
30 pieces.
30 of each of these. So
30B.
they're all 2.5-inch strips, so A is 10.5, B is 8.5, C is 6.5, D is 4.5, and E is 2.5. Then you'll need 180 white E squares that are 2.5 inches. So this is simple. You got a lot of prints. What we're going to do, I suggest that you label your A, B, C, D, E pile as you go.
At first, it'll help you kind of get a frame for what you're doing. You don't want to put things in the wrong order, make the block backwards.
So this is really easy to assemble the blocks when you think about it. You take the longest one and you add a white square at the end. So then you take the next one, you put a white square, but now you need something else, so we're going to take the shortest one.
It's a
of
small
the red
space,
and gray pile.
So the red, right.
So then we need the next longest blue one.
Blue-green.
Oops, there, a white one. And now we need a little bit longer red and gray one.
Back out of the way so you can keep
Okay.
constructing there. Now, when you go to create all these strips and pieces and you've got them labeled A through E or wherever we're at here, you may not have time to sit down and sew all the blocks at once. Wouldn't it be great if we had an entire weekend to go on a retreat, maybe even at home, and sew? But it seems like life always gets in the way. So a way to try and store blocks and pieces so that we don't lose track of where we're at. Might be repurposing maybe a cookie sheet, cover it with a piece of scrap batting maybe. That way it's kind of like a little flannel board.
Keeps things from sliding around in there.
People also use pizza boxes. Of course, brand new unused pizza boxes, but that way you can lay all the pieces flat inside and cover them until you're ready to sew.
Okay, so you're going to see a little pattern here. This goes A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E.
Very good.
So if you've got your stacks labeled, it's pretty easy. So what you're going to do now is just join these into rows. I'm going to clear these out of the way.
We're going to create rows, really simple sewing, and short seams. We're going to be pressing all of our seam allowances toward the white, as we've done here. And once you do that,
let's
you
pull
slide them over.
here,
Okay, so flat space.
So then when you go to sew the rows together, you're going to be very happy.
You're going to notice there's going to be opposing seams at the little intersections. The white squares take that stair step.
So when you go to put these rows together, flip this one like this. We're going to sew along that edge. You'll notice here, this seam allowance goes to that side. This one goes that way, so they're going to nest together perfectly, and you're going to have a great intersection. So all you need to do is sew all these rows together, and you've got your block. You'll need 30 blocks to make the quilt, and then comes the fun
of rearranging the blocks. This isn't a really traditional layout. As you can see, there's kind of a center off to one side.
It's really off-center, yeah.
So it's all about block alignment. Make sure that the white, it makes a kind of a tracing line or a chasing line through your quilt, that the blue greens are next to each other, and that the pink grays are grouped together. What a fun way to use 2.5-inch strips.
This is another one that would be fun to put on a design wall and take a picture with your cell phone or a digital camera and look at it to make sure you like how it looks.
And make sure you
sew them
don't
together.
have one block turned wrong. Thanks for joining us today.
To see more of our videos, go to video.fonsandporter.com.